Hi everyone, it's Rachel with Rachel's Super Cute Creations, and I'm here tonight just to do a little bit of scrap busting. And I decided to turn on the camera, so if anybody pops in, they'll be able to just kind of chat along with me. So all of us just have so many scraps, or at least I do. Maybe I'm alone, but I don't think I am. And they tend to just overwhelm people. So today we're just going to do some scrap busting. So if you're popping in to see me, say hello so that I can say hello to you. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to make are these little stuffies. And you can see I've already decorated this one. Hi, Tori. Hi, Pat. Hi, Dawn. Awesome. I'm just here. Just turn the camera on. We're going to make some scrap projects today. So if you want to grab some scrap papers and just go along with me, that's great. If you just want to watch, that's great too. So basically what I have, and I want to show you, I just got done teaching a tutorial. Here's some other ways of just using up scraps. So you have some in your hands right now, Pat. Perfect. Perfect. So you can make things that look like this. I have an entire bucket over here of my little snippets or clusters that I make. I love these. And I especially love these because a lot of times when we're trimming pages, we end up with like 2-inch or 2.5-inch pieces. And then what do we do with them? Well, I'm going to show you, we're going to make a pile of these today because I'm kind of getting low. Kind of getting low on some of my supplies. Excuse me, I'm just trying to throw some of these in here so I can get to my papers. I've been using up a lot of scraps. So you can see here's a ton of scrap embellishments. And hi, Penny. So we're just going to kind of start using them up today. So I just kind of set those up there. All right. Okay, guys, sorry. All right, so I have a bunch of these papers. They're about, I don't know, they're not quite 6 inches wide. And I've been making these little, what I call stuffies. I don't know what you call them. What would you guys call these? They're little flip books. And then I've been decorating the tops of them. And they're perfect for my pockets that I make out of book pages. So let's get started. So basically what I've been doing is just taking these papers, folding them in half. You want your paper to be about 2.5 inches, probably at the narrowest. 3 inches is best. And I'm not using scissors or a cutter. I'm just ripping them. Hi, Naomi. So glad to see you. So I'm just ripping these, putting them in a pile. Now, you could do this if you wanted to add book pages in here or anything else. If you want the edges to be straight, use your cutter by all means. But because I have them kind of shabby, I don't care that they have a little bit of a ripped edge. Oh, thanks, Naomi. Yeah, I think they're pretty cute too. And they really do not take much time at all. So if some of you are wondering what the length of these papers are, they're 7.5 inches long by 2 3/4. That's what I'm using right now. But you can use 2.5, you can use 3, whatever you want. And then there's a couple different ways to make them. For the ones that are right here, I use 2 sheets of paper. So that means 4 strips. And we can make some smaller ones as well. Hi, Barbara. Glad to see everybody tonight. I haven't been live in a while. How is the live feed? Are we having any problems tonight? Because YouTube's been acting up. Okay, so the next thing I do, hi Gigi, is I take 4 sheets and I kind of layer them about 1/4 of an inch on top of each other. I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you see that? About 1/4 of an inch. And then I'll show you what I do. Then I take my distress ink and I go over the ends like this. And then I just pull them up a little bit. So it gives this look. And then I take and I fold this over to the back. Now, you can fold it this way if you want, and you'll end up with more flips. I don't do that when I'm using 4 pages. And the reason why is because I don't like these little ones up here. But you could do that if you wanted to. I fold them back. Just like this. And I get my stapler and I put 2 staples in there. And then I go along the edges. Now you could open up each page and you could, go along the edges in here. I don't do that. I just leave this little bit. I just distress the top and the edges right along here. Okay. So, and you can make them various sizes. Oops, I forgot to tell you. I normally will take and then cut this off. And I save these little scraps because I use them in my clusters. Now, if you want to just use 2 pages and you want to make a smaller one, you're going to do the same process. And then because this is a straight edge, I'm just going to tear it so that the edges kind of match. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to move these like this and fold this down. And now I've made a smaller stuffy. Now this size stuffy fits perfect in these book page pockets. So I just ink these up and then I just keep them in a pile. And I just keep them rubber band together until I'm ready to start embellishing them. So as I'm working on journals, I have some things ready. So we're just going to kind of keep working through these a little bit. What's everybody else working on? Anybody doing anything fun? Does anybody else make these or do a version of these? Naomi, you're working on a dragonfly journal? Oh, I bet you that's going to be beautiful. You're babysitting your grandsons, Gigi? Cool. Pat, you're going to start making some of these now? Yeah, these are cool. They're easy. You're using up scraps. They don't take a lot of time. I usually will do these on the couch while I'm watching TV with my husband. It gives me something to do with my hands, and I really don't need very many supplies. I just need my inker and paper because I rip them in half. I don't use scissors, so I usually will just put a little garbage next to me, so I can put these little tear off pieces in them, and then I just go ahead and use my ink and ink them up and fold them over. Oh, and take my stapler out. So pretty much my inker, my paper, my stapler. And I usually will take a book and just work on top of the book, watch TV, and make up a bunch of these. They're easy, easy, easy. Well, Pat, this is really simple, and they're not hard. So this is definitely a junk journal embellishment that you're going to want to work on. The other nice thing about these are you can leave these on your counter and use them. They're just cute little pads. You know, throw one in your purse. Make one, you know, this be cute to just throw in your purse if you have little notes or something like that. It's a great way to recycle paper. And you don't have to ink them. You know, you could leave them as they are. So basically then, once I have them and I'm ready to do something with them, I pretty much like to start with some old book page first. You don't have to. You could use whatever you want. So I'm just going to grab some book page over here. Let's see here. All right, let's grab this one. So then I just tear some book page up. Pretty much the same way. Just be careful when you're using pages that it doesn't have something on there that's inappropriate for the audience that you're using. You know, sometimes the pages are pretty because they're vintage, but they may have swear words on them or something else that's not appropriate. So then I just add some book page on there. And then you can pretty much do whatever you want. You know, you could take and I can add a butterfly to the top of this one, which I think I might do. This is from a bingo card. I punched it out of a bingo card. I could take and add a die cut flower, which would be beautiful. Actually, I think I might do that. I like that. Look at how pretty that is. And it was that simple. And now I can take it and pop it into a pocket. Ink up this pocket, add something to this if I want. You know, I could add some flowers to this. I could add a flower to this pocket and have just a beautiful little embellishment for a journal. What's the width and length of my paper? Terry, it's about 7 inches tall, about 7 inches this way, and it's 2 3/4 this way. But you can use, you know, whatever size. I pretty much up to 3 inches, and I wouldn't go any smaller than 2.5 inches. I mean, you could do 2 inches, but that's, to me, that's kind of small for a notepad. But I mean, you can definitely do whatever you want. All right, so we're going to do this one. I'm going to do 2. I'm just tearing that to get that rough edge. I'm going to go ahead and ink, and then we'll be done with all these scrap pieces that we just had here. Then we'll move on to some other things. Oh, thanks, Dawn. Yeah, I think they're cute too. They're easy to make. They don't take a lot of time, but they have a big impact in your journal. And you can make these even more grungy depending on your journal. You know, like if you're doing a travel journal or something like that, or you're doing a bohemian journal, you know, you can really grunge these up. So once again, I'm just adding a little bit of glue. You can use whatever kind of glue you want. I'm using Fabri-Tac because it dries quickly, and because I'm on with you, I want to make sure that it doesn't take a long time to dry. So let's see here. Do I have on my desk? I'm only using items I have on my desk right now, which is a lot of junk. There's a little piece of muslin. Add that on there. And I'm going to leave it scrunched up just like it is. And there you go. We have this little cute little embellishment. And I could add my butterfly on there if I wanted to. I could pretty much do whatever I wanted. I could leave that there. I could take and put a music paper butterfly on here, a flower, whatever. But these are ready to go. These are ready to be used. All right, let's toss those little papers away. All right, let's do some more collaging here. I'm not sure how many of you have been doing the 5-minute challenge. Have any of you been doing the 5-minute? Excuse me. Oh, you can use printed paper, Amanda. I just use the blank pages because I always have a lot of just plain paper scrap cutouts. But you absolutely could use, you could use lined paper. You could use graph paper. You could use anything that you wanted for these. You could even use music paper if you wanted to. All right. So what I like to do is once my scrap bin is full, I have to use up the scrap. So here is a bunch of cutoffs that I have. And they're just 11 inches long. And so these will make, we're going to make some tags out of. So, and if you don't know how wide these are, they are 2.5 inches wide. And I'm going to cut them 4 inches. And then I'm going to cut a pile 5 inches. So we'll have a couple different size tags. And then I'm going to take these and we're going to make some teeny tags. but I'm going to leave them this size. We'll collage on these, and then I'll show you. We'll make some tiny tags. So when I tell you you can use up your scraps, you can use up your scraps. Here's some teeny tiny tags. Oops. That I have made out of scraps. Aren't these cute? And they're perfect on journals. And those are just word stickers that I had, and I just collage on there. But use up the papers that you have, okay? So let's go ahead and I'll show you how to make some of those little tags. And we'll make some big ones too. So I typically will line up. I typically work 2 big ones, 2 small ones at a time. And then I take my scraps, and I'm going to start with this bingo paper. And I just use a glue stick. Now, this paper that I'm using for the base is just regular copy weight paper. Okay. And I leave about 1/8 of an inch between them because I need to be able to separate them. And I'm going ahead and I'm just collaging over all of them. Saves time. Now, I could have collaged on the entire, on a large sheet and then cut them apart. But these pieces were already small strips. So this is an easy way for you to start collaging. Now, as you start layering, glue on glue is better than, more glue is better than not enough. So glue on glue will stick things much better. So just keep collaging. Somebody asked me about printed paper. This is some of my lace that I've scanned. And so you definitely can use printed paper. And I'm going to add this right up here. And we'll cut these into tags in just a minute, but you'll be surprised at how quick these go together and how nice they look in the end. All right, so I'm going to use this little lace right here and these 2 little ones. There we go. Okay, so now I just want to look for some more papers, and I'm only using the scraps, as I said. So I have this little tiny scrap. This would be a good one to go right here. Everybody still with me? You guys are kind of quiet tonight. Okay, thanks, Barbara. I'm glad someone's here. Everybody got real quiet, so I was starting to worry that maybe it wasn't working or it wasn't streaming or something. Just watching. Okay, Tori. Not a problem. Sometimes when you guys get quiet, I think that YouTube's not working again. We've had so many streaming errors with YouTube lately that you never know. So add this bingo piece right here. All right, let me find some more little scraps. So you can use the tiniest pieces. You can see I'm just layering, 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 layering. Oh, let's grab some more here. Let's see what we have. Now, you can, oh, is it buffering, you guys? I'm sorry. Is it still buffering? We're back. You're back with me. Okay, thank you. And it's YouTube, you guys. I don't know what is going on, but this buffering problem they have to fix. Okay, so I have now covered all of the tags and the, oh, nope, I got to come up here. I didn't get quite all of it. See, I was watching you guys and not paying attention here. Here, let's add this up here. All right, there we go. So now what I do is I just kind of fold it over, oops, and I'll tear it. We'll trim it up better, but I just want to get them apart. So I just kind of tear them like this. All right. Now, like I said, if you have a large piece, go ahead and collage that large piece. Because I had all these little pieces that I wanted to use up, that's why I did that way. All right, so then I go ahead and I trim this up. And get all these little edges off of there. Okay. And then I decide which way I want my top to be. I just kind of don't crease it, but just kind of fold it over. Oops. Fold them over. And then I cut my tag. Just like that. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'll go ahead and trim this. So basically we're taking our micro scraps, our small scraps, and we're converting them into new pages. Now you can sew around these tags. You can sew around these tags. You can ink around them. You can pretty much whatever you want. Now for these little tags, here's what I do. First of all, you need to make sure that all of your pieces are down good. Barbara, you're back. Perfect. You guys still watching me quietly, or is it buffering again? All right. So here's our two big ones we made. Now we're going to cut our smaller ones. And I want them about 1 inch wide. So I just take them on my cutter and I cut them. Now these, I'm going to make just a little smaller than 1 inch wide. And then I'm going to turn this one, and we're going to make even smaller tags. And this one I'm just going to cut in half if I can. There we go. Okay. So then what I do is for these, I just kind of eyeball it. Still watching, Amanda? Perfect, perfect. I'm just trimming these small tags into tag shapes. There we go. So we ended up with, just clear off my mess here. And then I just take and I just ink them a little bit. Now, if you have little peg stamps, I don't have peg stamps, but if you have little peg stamps, you can stamp these, or if you have little tiny stamps, and they're really cute. I've seen people not do the collage tags like that, but I've seen them do it with small tags. And I just think that these would be so cute. If I had peg stamps, I would totally do that. I might be able to stamp this one. Let's see here. So see, I just put a stamp on that. And then I use a 1/8 inch punch. To punch my hole in all of them. I don't know about anybody else, but I really wish that they would have made it so that the mechanism was on top and not on bottom. I have a hard time with, I guess if I held it like this, I have a hard time lining this up. It's the only thing I don't like about my crocodile. Especially when you're taping. All right, and then we made the two big ones. There we go. Now you can put eyelets in them like I did with these. Grab some eyelets here. And I will be honest with you, I am not the greatest at putting eyelets in. I don't know what my problem is. But I struggle with it. Oh, that one went in good. Does anyone else struggle with the eyelets? I don't know what my issue is. I cut a paper down trying to make tags, so I stopped. Why'd you stop, Barbara? And remember, the bottom, this paper that we used as the base was just off-cut copy paper scraps. And I'm just putting these, oops, these eyelets in. If you don't have eyelets, you don't have to put them in. They work just fine without eyelets too. I just have a whole bunch of them that spilled in my desk yesterday. So I figured that was my sign to use them. They're all over my desk. Okay. And then typically what I will do is then I use these hole reinforcers and I put them over the holes on these. And now I have bases. You know what, you guys, I used the wrong size hole punch for those. There we go. Okay. And now we have bases of tags. Now, what can you do with these tags? You can use more scrappy embellishments on them. And remember, if you have, these are so cute to add to gifts. You don't have to just use them in your scrap journal, or I'm sorry, in your junk journal. You could use them in scrapbooks. You could use them on gifts. You can use them if you have an Etsy store and you're, you know, you write a note to your customers. You can use these right on the backs of them. But I like them because you can, these are just as easy as taking one of your other scrappy embellishments and adding it to it. So look at that. That makes such a beautiful tag. If you wanted a pop of color, add something that has a pop of color. You can take and have something that stamps an image or a saying on it. Let's see, what else do I have in here? This one has a postage stamp, so I could simply add this. And it makes a beautiful, beautiful tag. So make sure that you are, did not mean to do that, you guys. Instead of setting my stamp on there, I set my glue on the stamp pad. Oh, what a mess. Of course I would do that while I'm on camera. Hang on one second here. All right. Let's try this again. So yeah, just I like to use just the basic colors. Now you can also use, if you want, let's see if I have one here. So like I have some printables that I was using from Calico Collage, and I didn't use them all. So let me show you how to use these to make gorgeous tags too. So I also used, I used mixed media. Hold on. Let's cover this up before I end up with a mess. There we go. Okay, so I mixed media on the back of here. So I'm going to use both sides of this paper. So I'm going to start by tearing this, and I'm going to add this mixed media piece right here. So there's my first piece of my tag. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this graph paper. Just to give it some more dimension. And then I'm going to go to the front and I'm going to use, oops, some of this paper. And I'm going to keep on going here. Yeah, I'm going to use it right there. So if you have some extra pieces from a digital kit, or you have scrapbook paper or whatever, let's use it up. Let's stop leaving it in our scrap bins and let's get it used up. Okay, and then let's see here. What do I have? Looking to see if I have any other pieces from that kit that I might be able to, well, this has a little bit of different print and this is lighter, but look, I also have this lace piece. So I think I'm going to tear this. Let's go like this. Yep, we're going to add that little piece of lace right there. Just like that. And then I can use this back side to kind of tie in the mixed media piece again. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to do the same process that we did on the other one. And I'm going to trim it. Because it's wet, I'm folding it inwards because I don't want to break that seal on the top. And then once again, and you just have this gorgeous tag that can be used. Uh-oh, why is my, oh, there we go. Got stuck in there. Get my little hole reinforcer. And there's a beautiful pink tag. Great question, Dawn. Actually, I need to make some more because they're all done. So what I do is you have to make sure you have the paper hole reinforcers. And I use my Distress ink. I use my Tim Holtz vintage photo. And here's what I do. I kind of do an ombre effect. I do these really dark, the first line really dark, because sometimes you need really dark ones. And then I go a little darker. So I'm sorry, a little lighter. And then I go a little lighter. Okay. And then finally, the last row, I do the lightest. And then if I need them darker, you know, I can make them darker. Let me show you with this. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but do you see the difference? So the darkest, and then it gets to the lightest. And then that way I have them already distressed and ready to use. And so I usually keep a sheet of these like this. You can do this with any color ink. Does not just have to be the brown. But I typically use the brown because I think it looks like the manila tag reinforcers that are on the regular tags that you get. So here's some of my tags that I did. Now you can also, if you like to collage paper, you can also collage paper, scan it, and then you end up with tags that look like this, where I just printed them. I just scanned them on my scanner and printed them. And then you just do the same thing. You go in and see there's no collaging, but they look collaged. And I just go in and I punch them. And then I just have to put the reinforcers on them. So if you're not, you like the collage look, but you don't want to take the time to keep collaging like that, or you don't want collaged ones in your actual book, you can collage the paper, scan it, and then you end up with a flat scanned piece, and they look collaged. So here's an original collage. Here's one that's a copy paper collage. Gigi, what's not for you? Collage tags aren't for you? You like that, Tori? Yeah, I mean, it's just easy. Sometimes I don't feel like collaging, and so I'll just print a copy of one of my previous collage sheets. And these were made from a 8.5 by 11 collage that I made. I don't know if I have it in here. Let me look. Let's see if I have it so you can see it. No, I don't have it in there. Let me look over here. Oh yeah, here it is. So this was my original collage sheet, and you can see I collaged fabric, and this is actual ribbon, actual fabric. So this is where I got these tags from. So you can see here, here's where this one came from. I can piece it back together here. This one came from right here. This one came from right here. So you can see as I build it back, this is where they came from. And so it's just a simple, I just photocopy this in my printer. And then I can get some tags. So another quick and easy way to make some tags. And I love these because they're not bulky, and I can just take and add this and I'm done. So I just glue this on and I'm done. And it still looks like it has that dimension, but I can just simply add something like that to it and turn it into something totally different. And then these are great for packages too, if you have friends that like crafting like you do, and a lot of times I'll just take this, and not so much that one because it has that piece right there. That one I would probably leave as is. Need some bigger. You can even take one like this right here is a stamp that I have, a Tim Holtz stamp, and so you could just add that to it. Put it on there, and that's great for a gift or for a junk journal. Here's another piece that you can add. Wouldn't that be a gorgeous tag, you guys? Gorgeous, gorgeous, and easy. So that's just a few ways to use up scraps. Keep collaging. It's easy. Doesn't take a lot of time. For me, it's relaxing to do the collaging because I don't have to worry about being perfect. I don't have to worry about if it doesn't look good, because if I don't like it the way it is when it's down there, I can cut it up. So if I end up making one even this size and I don't, I'm probably going to get offline since it keeps buffering. I know that's irritating to people, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's YouTube, so hopefully, you know, this was inspirational for you. I hope you at least give this a try and see how you like it. Yeah, I'm not going to stay on too much longer because it keeps buffering and it's irritating to people. So I don't want you guys to have to keep suffering through that. There's nothing I can do about it. It's YouTube. I'll show you one more quick scrap thing that you can do, and then I'm definitely going to get off. It's buffering so bad. All right. If you have scrapbook paper or paper like this, the other thing you can do is I sit and tear them into about 1/2 or 3/4 inch strips. And I do this because you can make these type of embellishments, these scrappy embellishments. So I'm going to show you quickly how to do this before we get buffering too much again. So I just rip them into strips like this, and then I grab those strips and I make embellishments. And I do that by using glue. Now you can sew them. You don't have to sew them. So I'll show you these ones I actually sewed. You can see I sewed around them, but you don't have to. This one I did not, it's just glue. So I'm just gluing this one. I'm going to add. And so now I can use this on a page, either like this on the side and use it to tuck in, or I can use it on the bottom or the top for tucks, or to tuck like this. So I'm going to use this little piece of lace because I have it here. Remember, we're using up our scraps, you guys. It's on my desk, so I'm going to use it. And then I have this little piece of fabric here, and I want to use that up, so it goes with my pink and green. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add it. And then I'm going to add this butterfly here that's been on my desk all day. Add that. And then finally, I'm going to add a little bit of bling just to spice it up a little bit. Whoops. And now we have this gorgeous little embellishment. It can be used at the top of a page to tuck something in, or you can use it at the bottom, or you can use it on the side, or you can take it and you can use it on a tag or a journaling card. So I have this journaling card here. If I wanted to, I could add it. It's kind of busy. It's too busy for that. Here's a pocket. So here's a pocket I made out of a book page. I can just glue it to the bottom, and now I have this nice pocket. Oh, it doesn't bother you, you guys? Okay. I always feel bad because people get really mad and then they leave messages on my the comments about how, you know, they're mad about it being buffering. And so what do you think? You guys like these? These are easy. Just tearing paper, using glue. Now, if you're going to use book page, I would double it up. This is a doubled piece of book page, just because you want it to have a little bit of strength. So there's another one. Let's see here. And in this one, I'm going to also add this little piece like this. Add a little bit of cheesecloth behind it, like this and like this. And I'm going to use my stapler. And there you go. There's another cute little embellishment. That does not take a lot of time. And I stapled that, but I can still take, I mean, I could have glued it, but I just decided to staple it. And I can still take my bling if I want to. And I can go right over that staple. And these little butterflies, I just have a butterfly punch. Whenever I have scraps, I just punch them out. So here are two different ways to do some more. So as you get papers like this, when I get papers this size, I just take them, I rip them like this. Same thing with this. I just rip them, put them in a pile, because they're all pretty much the same. And then I get my little, and I just throw them in a baggie. And then this is something I can work on. A lot of times, you guys, I'll just build the bases and I'll put the front parts on at a different time. So I'll take this out to the couch and I'll just start building these while I'm watching TV. And then I'll just build those. If I don't like the length, I can adjust it at any time. It's just paper, just rip them. And then I just build these. I just spend time building these little strip pieces. Yeah, Barbara, do it, because you'll have so many embellishments. And then when you go to do a journal, you can just sit down and do it, because you have all of these pieces. Because you have, I mean, look at, I always have all of these little cutoffs. I don't know why. Now, this is a colored, has colored pieces on it, like a magazine, and they're kind of shiny. You can use these as well. So do the same thing. I'll just layer this on. So you can use magazine pages if you want. Let's see, what do I have here? Now, as I said in a different tutorial, sometimes I have printables that do not print out how I want them to. So like this one printed kind of yellow and blue. I rip these too. I don't waste these. For a long time, I would just hold on to them and I would be like, what am I going to do with these? Look, when you tear them up, it creates its own type of paper. Now, I don't really love this. I don't like the colors. I don't like how that is. So it's easy to change it up. You just continue to layer on top. So you know what? I don't love that. I'm going to take and I'm going to put some music paper on there. And I'm just going to kind of break up some of that look. So I'm just breaking that up. I'm just adding more to it. You can layer and layer and layer until you like it. And you might put it away and still not like it. And decide, you know, when you go to embellish the top of it that, you know what, I don't really like that. Okay, so I just kept layering on this one because I didn't like the look of it. Now, let's find something that's in that tone. I can take and add something to the top here. Looking for something kind of in the yellow family. Oh, this would work. And now I've just created a messy embellishment. So see, even those really ugly papers, you can keep layering them up. You can make things out of them. I can take and put just an embellishment on it. I could go into my little pile over here and I could find a flower and I could cut part of that flower off and look, it matches that sort of golden color right here. So those are just some ways you can use up your scraps. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you haven't already given me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Oh, you sewed lace on them, Barbara? Yeah, I sewed lace on them too. If you would just please give me a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody has a good night. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye, everyone.